So as Ankit has rightly pointed out, that we will be looking at how to integrate technology in, you can say, the educational setup. Okay, and earlier we used to call somebody, let's say, if you are not a computer literate, okay, he or she is supposed to be declared as a illiterate. Now we need to extend that definition. Let's say if you are not AI literate, okay, so people will call you as if you are illiterate, right? So with this words, okay, now as a matter of fact, as a teacher, we don't have a choice on whether we do use ICT. The question is how well we do it. Okay. So those days are gone wherein you can deny that, well, sir, I am from mechanical engineering or I am from some arts and humanities, and this is not my cup of tea. But those days are gone. Okay, now everybody, most of the time, knowingly or unknowingly, we are using this technology for our survival, I should say. Okay, or for doing our day-to-day activity. So we'll touch upon AI in that perspective. And as you know, this program is not intended for giving you some technical know-hows about the technology. Rather, here we will be deliberating on what this technology is all about, or as you must be experiencing since last 5 6 days. Okay, wherein we are simply touching upon what are the different aspects of NEP 2020. So ICT is one of them. Okay, there are 8 different dimension of this particular policy, and integration of, you can say, technology or ICT in particular is one of the dimension. Okay, so I have shared one paper. Okay, which is basically a discussion paper on national strategy for the use of AI in education. Okay, so I request all of you. Okay, maybe later on again you may go through the contents. Okay, so it is a fantastic landmark paper wherein different aspects of, you can say, the integration of AI in education. Okay, what we need to do as a nation. Okay, or what are the roles and responsibility. So we are the integral part of this particular setup as a teacher. So what are our responsibilities, and definitely what are the challenges we are going to face. All those aspects we'll just try to have a look at. But we will have maybe in the first session we will have some theoretical foundation, wherein we will just try to explore how this technology has evolved. So how it has evolved, it is not at all new. Okay, so how this technology has evolved, that we will see. Then we will see various dimension of this technology. That is AI, then what they call it as the machine learning, deep learning, and so on. And the second session, definitely we will have some hands-on on some of the tools for education and research. Right. Now, having said this, just allow me to share my presentation. Okay, as I said in the first 90 minutes or so, because I'll be with you for around 180 odd minutes. Okay, we may have a break for 5 to 10 minutes in between if you require. Okay, but uh, for 3 hours I'll be with you, and I would love to interact with you. So whatever you feel like, whatever is your perception, whatever you feel with regard to these aspects of NEP 2020, we will definitely have some brainstorming on all those aspects. Okay, so each technology has got some pros and some cons. Okay, and AI is not the exception in that regard, right? So definitely there are certain positive aspects. Okay, you may uh, automate some of your routine activity by using various tools, but at the same time there are issues like, you can say, the spoiling your creativity, innovation. Okay, and there are issues, as Ankit has pointed out, that is, there are issues with regard to the ethics. Okay, so ethical considerations, what are all those issues? And as on date, as a matter of fact, we do not have any white paper in this regard by the government of India or any governing agency or regulating agency at this point of time. But in due course, definitely the government is very seriously taking up this issue. Okay, So in due course of time, definitely we will have some guiding principles. That is how to curtail the use of this AI, okay, in education and research. Okay, so all those dimensions we will touch upon. Okay, but this technology, as many a times, most of the time, people say that this is a disruptive technology. Okay, so this is some sort of disruption which you are witnessing, right? And that is happening in education as well. So there are platforms like say MOOCs and so on. Okay, but this is the need of the hour. Okay, because we need to move further. So definitely there is no option. Okay, and that is why government of India is very serious about this. They have come up with you can say the ABCD IDs, wherein the students are allowed to earn credits, okay, from other sources like Swayam, okay, Swayam Prabha, MOOCs, and all those platforms which are basically the brainchild of the government of India, and they are being executed as by various nodal agencies like say IITs and NITs. So you can earn certain credits, and those credits can be directly credited to your ABCD account, right? So and there is little bit cap, okay, but you can earn as many as 20 to 40% credit. Okay, some of the universities they have adopted this, but there are universities which are really lagging behind. But all those aspects will just try to have a look at in this 3 hours. Okay, so you allow me to share my presentation. Okay, we will begin with what they call it as what this technology is all about, right? So what is AI and so on, right? So, so right. So this is what we are going to discuss in these two sessions. Okay, let me my presentation in a presentation mode, right? So as I said, that is we'll be having a look at what they call it as the ICT tools for education and research, right? Now, having said this, this is what is there on the agenda. That is, we will start with what is AI. Okay. Again, I will not, as I have told you, that is, I will not go into the technical details. But since we are using it, okay, and I know that some of you are from computer science, but there are many those who are from other discipline, right? So I have kept my, you can say, a deliberation on a very fundamental level. Okay, wherein we will just try to explore what these technologies are all about. What is AI? What are intelligent system? What is soft computing in general? What are the soft constituents of soft computing? What is deep learning architecture? And as I said, that is each technology has got some plus and some minus, right? So AI is again having certain problems. So one of the problem we will just try to discuss what they call it as the black box problem in AI. Okay. And there are solutions to that problem. Whenever we talk about problem, definitely there are solutions to all those problems. So we will touch upon some hot areas in this domain. So what are the consequences of this black box problem and what is the solution? So solution is what they call it as the explainable AI or glass box approach. So we will have a cursory look on all these aspects of AI. Right. Now, having said this, I don't know whether today is Saturday, okay, and if you can interact, okay, without any problem. I don't know whether it is possible for you to interact with me at this point of time. But let's say if it is possible, if you can unmute yourself, and any one of you can come up with your own perception about AI. Okay, so what do you feel? What AI is all about, or in a layman's definition, what is AI? Any one of you? Whether I am audible and you people are with me. Let me check how many.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, artificial intelligence is the study of doing the things by computer which at a moment people do better.
Great, great, sir. Whether you are from computer science,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, okay, okay, great. So, as sir, what is your name?
Sir Punesh Kumar Tembre.
Emre sir has rightly pointed out that is doing things by computer at which you can say and so on. There are many definitions like this. Okay, so but we are some way or the other we are trying to make machines as an intelligent machine. So what is that intelligence is all about? Okay, we'll just try to have a look at that particular dimension of this AI. And a very vague definition, I should say, or a layman's definition is of AI is it is nothing but the study of mechanism that think and act like humans. That is, or to put it in straightforward words, it is simply any technique that enables computer to mimic human behavior. Okay. So at one end, we have got what they call it as the human intelligence, and the other end, we have got what they call it as the artificial intelligence. Now, if we can mimic human behavior, now what is so special about human intelligence? So if you simply look at the human intelligence, okay, we are capable of comprehending, learning, reasoning, and navigating through novel or challenging situations. See, this is the gift given by Almighty, right? Whatever you believe in, that is, you can say the most intelligent species, living species on the world is the human being, right? So we are intelligent. So some sort of intelligence is associated with us, and we are capable of doing many things with which other living beings are not supposed to. Okay, so we are capable of learning. We can reason it out why we are taking a particular decision. And let's say if you have been trained in a particular domain, you can apply that knowledge as a human being to some new conditions. Let me elaborate further on this dimension. That is, let's say you have been trained, that is how to drive a car. Okay, so in that case, most of the time, whenever we go for learning anything, okay, the learning takes place in a very idealistic environment. So normally, the training school people normally take you to either on highways or maybe in playgrounds. Okay, so wherein you don't have any traffic, you don't have any you can say the interruptions, and you can drive smoothly, and you can learn, you can adapt. That is what is the function of you can say accelerator, brake, and gear and steering and so on. Okay, but you will not, never face that kind of a scenario all the time. Okay, let's say you have got license and all that, right? And then let's say you are driving in a downtown, okay, wherein you face heavy traffic. So what do? We never ever call our trainer now what to do next, right? Rather, we apply whatever knowledge we have acquired to this new condition, right? So that decision-making capability is some way or the other is inherent in human intelligence, right? So artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is the intelligence of machine which simulate human intelligence into a computer so that it can think and act like a human. That is, in simple words, mimicking human behavior. Okay, mimicking human behavior. Now, which particular machine or a system in general, we may call it as an intelligent machine or intelligent system, right? So, as I said, that is, if you want to declare some machine or some equipment or some gadget as an intelligent system, okay, it must have these four peculiar characteristics present. The very first one is what they call it as the intelligence itself. That is, system must be capable of performing some meaningful operation. Then interpretation capabilities, right? Interpreting information, comprehending the relation between the phenomenon or object. Okay, let's say if I give you the relationship between X and Y and Z, so you can very well deduce the relationship between X and Z. So that is comprehension. And as I was referring to, let's say if these machines are trained, now how they are trained by means of data, right? So once they are trained, they are capable of applying that information to new conditions. Okay. Now, this is again very important to note. Okay, if you look at the evolution of AI, okay, and if you look at, you can say the historical perspective, you will find that there were systems like what they used to call it as expert system. Okay, in expert system, what we used to do, we used to key in all the rules. Okay, whatever is there in the area in which you are into. Say, for example, if you have prepared a expert system for the homeopath practitioner, okay, the entire repertory of the homeopath, okay, is keyed into the system, and whenever you can say the patient visit the doctor's uh, clinic, okay, he or she will be asked a set of questions, and based on the responses, all those symptoms will be fed in, and then the system is capable of arriving at some sort of, you can say, decision that the person is suffering from XYZ disease. But the problems with this expert system was, let's say, if you expose them to something new, they were not capable of handling those kind of scenarios. Say, for example, COVID-19 scenario, right? So in case of COVID-19, so the symptoms were altogether different, right? And they were so confusing that many times people used to diagnose that the person is suffering from some ABC and so on, some other diseases and so on. Or the problems with these, you can say, the expert system was, if the symptoms are beyond the scope of all those rules, it will come up that, well, no match found, I am sorry, right? So as to avoid those kind of a thing, what has happened, this AI has evolved, right? AI has evolved. Now we will invest some quality time in understanding, that is, whenever we talk about solving any problem using computers, okay, there are two approaches. Okay, the very first approach is what they call it as the traditional approach, okay, wherein most of the time we have got mathematical modeling, and this black box I will elaborate further, right? So wherein you have black boxes, huge number crunching, all those, and rule-based system. I think I have already pointed out the limitation of rule-based systems or expert systems. Okay, so at one end we used to have the traditional approaches, and the other hand we have got what they call it as the soft computing approach or AI-based approach, right? So the traditional approach is also referred to as the hard computing approach. Now, what is there in hard computing approach? We have precise model in those cases. Okay, that is, we do have exact values of all the variables. Okay, maybe whatever parameters you are dealing with. So you have exact value of all those parameters. You have, you can say, the traditional numerical modeling and search is basically deployed in that case. And it relies on what they call it as either something is true or something is false. That is bivalent logic, to be very specific, okay, in case of hard computing. On the other hand, we have one new technology, rather new approach of solving any real life problem, is what they call it as the soft computing approach. So what is there in soft computing? We have approximate model. We do not have precise model. Okay, and we apply approximate reasoning. Okay, and functional approximation and randomized search is being used. Let me elaborate further on these aspects. Okay, what this approximation is all about. Okay, and if you just try to relate it with your real time decision making process, or rather human decision making process, you will definitely appreciate that it is very close to your real time decision making strategy, right? So approximate model, meaning thereby you are taking your decision, okay, based on approximate knowledge, imprecise knowledge. What does this mean? Let me give you one analogy, simple analogy. Okay, let's say you are driving a car and you want to overtake the vehicle which is just in front of you, right? So what you will do in that case, whether you will get down from your car, ask the other person to stop his or her vehicle, and then you will measure the exact amount of space available to you, and then you will take the decision whether it is possible to overtake or not. Or the other way around, what do we do normally? We simply just look around, and then if you feel that enough space is available, you push the accelerator, and then try to overtake the vehicle which is just in front of you. So now again, this decision, okay, which is based on approximation, it is subject to right or wrong. Okay, it is possible that you are taking a wrong decision. The others, when you push the accelerator, you found some other vehicle approaching towards you from the opposite side, and then again you need to apply brake, and then whatever it is. So what I'm trying to emphasize is, or the other way around is, let's say you are in a parking lot and you want to park your vehicle. So you never ever get down and you measure the exact amount of space, and then you drove your car to the desired location. It is never like that, right? So we take decision. Many times those decisions are right or wrong. You may collide with some, you can say the column which is in between. Okay, but you take decision. We take, as a human being, we take decision on approximation. Okay, and that is why this soft computing approach is very closer to your real time decision making process. The another important dimension of this soft computing is, here we use functional approximation and randomized search. Now, we need not have to search the entire search space. Rather, we go for a localized or randomized kind of a search, definitely, which will be efficient in terms of time, and if you can say the memory and other parameters, and you take fast decisions. Again, those decisions may be right or wrong, as I am repeatedly telling you, but that is there, right? So hard computing, it was a paradigm shift. Okay, and now the another important aspect of this soft computing is, it uses not only bivalent logic, rather it uses multivalent logic. Okay, multivalent logic meaning thereby either something is true or something is false, but there are values in between those 0 and 1, maybe zero 0.5, zero 0.6, zero 0.7, and so on, right? So that is nothing but the, you can say, the multivalent logic. Okay, true and false is inclusive. I'm not saying that that is not there, but inclusive of 0 and 1, you may have some values in between. Okay, so that is functional approximation and so on. Now we'll just try to digest a more, you can say, concrete and foolproof definition of this concept, what they call it as the soft computing. Uh, Again, we'll go with two different definitions. The very first one is, it is the, just like in case of AI, okay, we had two statements over there. So on the similar line, it is the symbiotic use of many engineering problem solving disciplines. Okay. And if you look at the definition which has been given by none other than the father of soft computing, Professor Lutfi Ali Zadeh, it is in contrast to traditional hard computing. Now look at the word, the very first word rather, it is a 360-degree shift. It is a paradigm shift from the traditional hard computing. Soft computing exploits the tolerance for imprecision, meaning thereby we are dealing with imprecise knowledge, uncertainty, and partial truth. Now, these are the three dimensions. We'll go one by one. Imprecise knowledge. Okay, as I said, that is most of the time we do not have precise knowledge, but still we take decision. Okay, imprecision, uncertainty. The word is full of uncertainties. Right, you must have seen movies like, say, Luck, starring Sanjay Dutt and so on. Right, so uncertainty. Okay, you never know what will happen, what next will happen. Okay, and everything is true to the degree of some truthfulness. It is partially true, and that is why I was referring to you. We are talking about the values between 0 and 1. 0 and 1 plus zero 0.6, zero 0.7. So everything is true to the degree of some truthfulness. Okay, that is again one has to understand. And that is the, you can say, the basic difference between the hard computing or the soft computing approach or the AI based approach. What is the advantage of having this kind of a setup is to design solution, or rather solutions to problem, real life problem, which are tractable, robust, low cost, and has got better report with reality. Okay, let me give few examples which will make your ideas clear. If you simply look around, I don't know whether it is working in your organization or, but anyway, wherever you are, let's say if you are in an office, then you must be having the air conditioner installed in your cabin, right? So that is most of the manufacturer, they claim that it is an intelligent air conditioner. Now, how they are claiming that it is intelligent? Because it is capable of taking decision on its own. Okay, so depending upon the number of persons in the room or their activity, okay, it goes on and off. So it is some way or the other, it is intelligent. Now, otherwise, let's say if it is not there, you need to manually switch it on and switch it off and something like that, right? The other example, best example is, look at the washing machine. Okay, most of the manufacturers, they claim that all the automatic machine, they claim that it is fuzzy enabled washing machine or intelligent washing machine. So how come we are making all these gadgets as an intelligent gadgets? The idea is pretty simple. That is, uh, some of you must be from electronics. Okay, if you have a microcontroller chip, okay, and if you embed all those, let's say you are dealing with three parameters in case of washing machine. So if you design 27 odd rules and you fed all those rules in that microcontroller and put that microcontroller in action, okay, what it will do, it will take control of all the components of the entire washing machine, and it will take decision as if some human being is taking decision for whether it is to be washed gently, or whether the hard wash is to be applied or whatever, right? So what I'm trying to say is, by simply spending $1,000 you can make anything intelligent, right? Anything intelligent. That is what is the philosophy, and that's why I said low cost solution. Okay, and definitely it has got better rapport with reality. Now, if you look at the, you can say the components of this, okay, I will not go, as I've told you, that is, will not go into the details, technical aspects, because our approach is little bit different. Okay, we need to understand the technology, okay, and that's why some evolution, all those aspects are essentially needed. But our perspective is little bit different. We'll see that is what are the various tools and how to use them for our education purpose or maybe research purpose and so on, right? So having said this, these are the four constituents. Each one of them, it is good in some or the other area. Say for example, fuzzy systems. Whenever you are dealing with imprecise knowledge, okay, you may deploy fuzzy systems for that. Neural networks are capable of learning, just like you and me. We are all human beings, so we can learn. Okay, we can learn, we can adapt to new technology and so on. Okay, on the similar line, these machines can be trained, okay, without being explicitly programmed. Okay, and that is the power of this neural network. Okay, we wherein we do not program them explicitly, but still we can train them, right? So that is the potential. Okay, and there's another area, what they call it as the probabilistic reasoning, wherein if you are dealing with uncertainty, okay, you may use those uh, models available in probabilistic reasoning, evolutionary computing, genetic algorithm. Okay, if you are dealing with optimization kind of a problem, therein you may apply, or you may have a hybrid system. Okay, it all depends upon what kind of problem you are dealing with. So you may have neuro fuzzy, or all those things are there. But these are the four building blocks of this AI or soft computing in general. Okay, one important concept we'll just try to have a look at. Okay, and I'll show you the power of this. You can say the technology, or maybe the approach. Okay, so again, I would love to interact with you if you are comfortable with. Okay, again, by posing question, I'm not here to check or rather judge your knowledge. Rather, the objective is to simply get you involved in the discussion. Okay, there is no other reason. So if you are comfortable, you can just reply to my queries. Let's say uh, you want to compute some person's age. Okay, and I am not giving you any numbers with regard to that. I am providing you some, rather I am making some English like statement with that particular maybe a lady. Okay, and we want to compute the age of that lady, okay, which is Rekha in this case. Okay, so I'm making some English like statement with regard to that lady. Do those English like statement, you may call it as propositions. Okay, so we are dealing with words, we are not dealing with numbers. So what I am trying to emphasize here is it possible to compute with words? The very first, any one of you, whether you can respond to this. Is it possible to compute with words? Say yes or no. I hope all of you are with me. And we have spent around 30-35 odd minutes. All right. So is it possible to compute with words? The very first thing. Say yes or no. I don't know whether you can unmute yourself. All right. No issue. Okay. Let us proceed further. Okay. What we are trying to understand is, this is a pretty simple example, okay, which will demonstrate the power of this AI. Okay. Say, let's say I am giving you a question, that is, we want to compute Rekha's age. Okay, and I'm providing you some information set with regard to that lady called Rekha. Okay, I'm making two statements with regard to Rekha, that she has a son in mid 20s and she has a daughter in mid 30s. Okay, these are the only two statements I am making. Okay, now the third one is the third proposition is the word knowledge, which is usually mother's age at birth is between 20 or asterisk 20 for short, or approximately short 40 or asterisk 40 for short. Right. Now, having this much knowledge, is it possible to compute Rekha's age? If yes, what is Rekha's age? I'll take a pause for a minute or so that I can take a long breath. Yes, any one of you. What do you feel? I hope you people are with me. Is it possible? All right. All right. I'll give you the answer. No issues. Right. You can very well compute Rekha's age. Okay. The even though the question is pretty simple and straightforward, but it requires some kind of, you can say, mathematical pre-processing, you may say, or there is a specific operation, what they call it as the preciation. That is, we need to convert these English-like statement into what they call it as the computation-ready word, right? Now, how we can do that? Okay, let us see. Okay, the very first statement which I am making with regard to the lady under consideration, Rekha, is that she has a son in mid 20s. So you can very well appreciate this particular statement as age son is asterisk 25. Okay. What is appreciation? It is a prerequisite to computation. So what I'm doing, I am translating that information set I into I star. Okay, that is appreciated I, wherein the very first statement is P1 asterisk. So we were having P1 in that case. Now it will be P1 star, just like I star. Age son is asterisk 25, because I am making a statement that she has a son in mid 20s. Okay. On the similar line, she has a daughter in mid 30s. So that can be very well appreciated as P2 asterisk age daughter is asterisk 35. Okay. And the third one is the word knowledge. Okay. Wherein you have plus P3 star, that is age mother at birth is usually asterisk 20, asterisk 40, barring few exception. Okay. And when we aggregate these three, that is aggregation function of age Rekha is asterisk 25, usually asterisk 20, asterisk 40, fusion asterisk 35, usually asterisk 20, asterisk 40. Now, this will give you the exact age of Rekha. Okay, again, I'll keep it open-ended. Okay, those who are with me, they can later on respond, but you can very well compute that. Okay, you can very well compute that. It is pretty simple and very straightforward. That is, her age is, to be very specific, 55, right? To be very specific is 55. All right. So you can do that. What I'm trying to emphasize here is you can compute with words. Okay, whenever we are talking about computation, the very first things which comes to our mind is that we are dealing with numbers, but it is not necessary. You can compute with words. Okay, this is, again, there are different levels of CW, CW 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, but this is the simplest one, that is CW 0, but still you can compute with words. Now, this simple example, or rather this simple solution has given birth to a lot of, you can say, solving a lot of problems in natural language processing, or what we used to call it as the NLP as on date. Okay, so you can extend this. Okay, as I said, that is, there are different levels. Okay, not to go into the detail, but we need to understand what is this appreciation. It is simply a meaning. Sorry, it is a prerequisite to computation. That is what we are doing. We are translating those English-like statement into computation-ready words. That is appreciation, right? So appreciation is nothing but the conversion of unappreciated, that is raw fact or proposition P, into natural language into a computation ready proposition called P star. So if you can model anything in this particular way, okay, you can solve any real life problem which is dealing with natural language processing, right? So appreciation is nothing but the modelization, right? Now, if you extend this, you have solutions, as I said, I was referring to, that is, you can solve any problems in natural language. So there are many, there are few classical problems as well. Uh, Even you can take some decisions. Okay, one typical problem, what they call it as the beta T problem. Okay, you can Google it later on. You will find a lot of stuff over there, right? So there are small systems which you can build using this extending this concept, that is computation with words or computing with words. Okay, and you can very well answer that. Now, if you go a little further, you will find that nowadays you are witnessing a lot of chatbots. Okay, whenever you visit websites, now you don't find any person sitting over there. You find some chatbot, Siri, or name will vary from website to website, or the you can say the portal to portal, but you will find some or the other chatbot, okay, which will answer your query. So, question answering systems, that is the another example, right? Having said this, this is all about, you can say, the very first component. Then you have the second aspect. Here onwards, we'll go a little fast, okay, because I'll not go into the details of all this, because this is well known to most of you, because you are all from engineering discipline. Okay, so machine learning is another area wherein uh, these systems are capable of learning without being explicitly programmed. Okay, so we have a lot of, you can say, the neural network is one of them. So under machine learning, how do they learn? Again, that we'll see, okay, in the slides to come. But this is again not at all new. It was tossed way back in 1956, 56 onwards. I think it is happening. Okay, I very well remember when I had been to JNTU Hyderabad in 93, 94, right? So maybe around 30, 35 odd years back, right? So I have attended that training program on neural networks and all, right? So this is not at all new. So neural networks, but what has happened due to the evolution of technology, particularly on the hardware front, we are having very efficient machines at our disposal, and that is making our job bit easier. Okay, I very well remember when I completed my master's dissertation, okay, way back in 96. Okay, those days we used to have only 386 machines. So for training, we used to train for it was in days, 2 days, 3 days, and let's say if the power goes off, everything goes down. Okay, again you need to restart and so on. But those days are gone, right? Nowadays you have got excellent hardware at your disposal, so you can do it quite easily, right? So what is the beauty of this neural network? They can acquire, store, and utilize experiential knowledge acquisition, storing that knowledge, and utilizing that knowledge for taking some decisions. Okay, or maybe classification, prediction areas. There are numerous areas wherein that can be applied. But this is very similar to your human brain. Okay, what happens when you are being trained? You acquire knowledge, and what do? You store that knowledge in your neurons, and you utilize that knowledge as and when needed, right? As and when needed. So they have got that potential, right? So basically, these neural networks, they are inspired from biological neuron. I'll not talk much on all these aspects, but on the similar line, we this is a biological neuron. On the similar line, we have a artificial neural network, right? So wherein some input layers are there, and these weights are the you can say the real power of this. That is, whatever they learn, okay, that information is stored or it is kept in these weights only. Okay, so in the learning process, what happens is these neural networks, they are trained and these weights are normalized. Okay, normalized. So typically this y is equal to summation of you can say xi wi x, or maybe in this case, since it is a single layer neural network, so it is x1 w1 plus x2 w2 and so on, and that goes through some non-linearity activation function and so on. Okay, but we'll not go into the details of all those aspects. but information processing systems, neuron process the information. Now, who is responsible processing the information is the neurons. Signals are transmitted by means of connection link. Okay, and link possesses an associated weight. That is what we used to call it as in biological neuron as the synaptic strength, right? And output signal is obtained by applying activation to the net input. Okay, that is how it works. Okay, this is the simple, pretty simplified example of a multi-layer perceptron. Okay, X0 and so on, and then it goes through some non-linearity, what they call it as the activation function. Again, you have various possibilities here. Okay, earlier it was a bit difficult. Now you have got tools wherein you can drop down, you can pick it up, and you can apply that activation function. So it is, things are moving with jet speed. Okay, so you can experiment quite easily nowadays, right? Now this how the weights and biases are updated. Okay, whenever you train them, okay, we, what do? We start with some random weight, anything between 0 and 1, okay, randomly, and then we go for the computation of output. And then in the next run, what do? We either increase the weight or decrease the weight and just see what happens to the error. Okay, and accordingly we take the decision. Okay, let's say by increasing the weight, okay, whatever random value you have started with, okay, if you increase the weight and if your network is converging, okay, the error is getting minimized, okay, you proceed in that direction. Or the other way around, let's say by decreasing the weight, let's say if you are able to minimize your error, you proceed in that direction, right? So that is how the things goes. And this cycle, that is one cycle, is referred to as one iteration or one epoch. Okay, one iteration or one epoch. Okay, that is when you cycle through input to the output level, and then you observe the value of the error and so on, right? So this is how the weights and these things are basically, you can say, the updated, or they are normalized. Then there are different architectures. Okay, how to set the weight, that I have already talked about. That is, you have to start with some random weight and then go for the experimentation, trial and error. Okay, so based on the how one neural network is connected, rather how one layer is connected with this next one, okay, that will determine the you can say the architecture of your neural networks. Okay, so you have single layer feed forward, as you can see, one input, one output here. Okay, multi-layer feed forward, wherein you may have one hidden layer. Okay, and again, how many hidden layer you must have, how many neurons in each hidden layer you must have, that is all based on trial and error experimentation. Okay, there is no hard coded rule, okay, which will determine that for these many input neuron you must have these many hidden layer and these many neurons in each layer. Okay, there's no hard coded rule. Okay, it is just trial and error. Okay, now what is the function of each layer, we need to understand as a user. Input layer, it receives the initial data. Hidden layers, wherein you can say they are not directly observable, it provides some non-identities of the network. Okay, and that is why the black box problem is, you never know what happens, how many hidden layers are there, how many neurons are there, how they are connected, and how the data is being processed. Okay, it is a black box. Okay, and that is why it is referred to as a black box. We'll talk upon all those aspects in the next session. Okay, and typically the output layer, which produces the final result. Okay, which produces the final result. Again, there are three types of training. Okay, I'll not talk much, but we need to know as a user: supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement training. Okay, supervised, wherein you provide labeled data, that is input, output, everything is known to you. Okay, it is referred to as a labeled data. Unsupervised, you know the input, but you are not uh, uh, confident about, you can say, the output. Okay, so it is unlabeled data. Okay, that is unsupervised. And the third, and which is very popular, okay, which is being used by almost all the LLMs, is the reinforcement training, wherein it is learning through trial and error. Okay, it is very similar to when a small kid learn how to walk. Okay, so on the similar analogy, okay, this reinforcement training is being deployed in all these architectures. Right, now there is one more thing which has come up in the recent past, what they call it as the deep learning 2006 onwards. Okay, will not go into the details, but deep learning architectures are very complex. That is why it is referred to as deep. Okay, there is nothing more than that. Okay, so it is a class of machine learning, okay, where many layers of information, the multiple layers, there are thousands of layers, okay, and that is why the name deep learning, okay. to be very generic sort of a thing. We'll not go into the details. Okay. Then under DL architecture, basically we do have three types of architecture, what they call it as the generative, discriminative, and hybrid. So on generative front, you have got a lot of Gen AI tools. Okay. Then discriminative, deep architecture, and maybe hybrid, which is a combination of generative and discriminative. That is the another, you can say, the area. Okay, wherein a lot of things are happening. Okay, again, we will not go into the details of all these. Okay, because our idea is to simply understand how this technology has evolved and how people are working and what are the various tools available and so on. Right. Now, this is what I have referred to, that is black box problem in AI. Right. So, as I said, that is just like any other technology, this technology is again having some pros and some cons, right? So this is one of the drawback, right? So let's say you are writing a prompt, okay? Whatever prompt you write, okay, whatever tool you are using, whether you are using ChatGPT or any other tool. So what do? We write a prompt, and then it is processed by the tool, and then it gives you some output, some or the other output. Now, how you are arriving at that output, it is not known to anybody at all. You see, I underline the word anybody. Even, let's say, if you ask the developer of that particular tool, he or she will come up with the same answer. Sorry, sir, I am not in a position to justify how this particular tool has arrived at this particular output. And that is why it is referred to as a black box. So what is happening within the tool, okay, it is not known to anybody. Okay, it is not known to anybody. Even the developers are not in a position to justify that how they are arriving at a particular solution. So it is a hidden and very complex process. Why it is so? Because it is completely hidden from us as a user. And let's say even if you look at if you try to pose the same query to the developers, they will again, because the complexity is so high, okay, you don't know what is happening, but you are getting some or the other answer. So how reliable this answer is, again, that is $1 billion question we need to know, right? So almost all these LLMs, okay, they suffer from this problems. You look at any large language model, okay, it is having this black box issue inherently present in them. Okay, and it has got some consequences as well. That is, who is accountable? Let's say if something goes wrong, it was similarly, it was there with all free and open source software, right? Let's say if your system crashes, okay, because it is not owned by anybody, right? So you never know what will happen to your system. So on the similar line, lack of accountability, right? So who will be accountable? Let's say you are using it for diagnosis and treatment of patients, okay, any LLM tool, okay, or any specific tool, okay, whether you will sue the developer or you will sue the tool or right. So there are lot of issues, legal issues coming up in that. Lack of accountability, unpredictability. So that is why, again, the outputs of these tools is, if you look at the reliability and the accountability, again, there are a lot of issues. You cannot rely more than 80%, right? Any 80 is the max, I am telling you, maybe between 70 to 80 or 60 to 80. Okay. So unpredictability is another thing. Then let's say, as I was referring to, whether if you're using it for a military use, again, it may be possible. Let's say you are using some tool for firing the missile on the enemy's target. And let's say if it missed the target and it hits your own area, okay, who will be responsible? So those all issues are there, right? So having said this, black box is one of the problem with this technology, right? There are solutions. We'll talk about solution later on. Another area which is nowadays dominating is what they call it as the generative AI. Now, if you look at the Gen AI, it is basically a subset of AI. Okay, so AI is a superset, and generative AI is basically a class of algorithms or tools. Okay, but if you look at the potential of this Gen AI tool, it is very surprising, I tell you. Surprising in a sense, that is, all these Gen AI tools, they are capable of creating new original content, such as images, text, or music. Okay. So I underline the word new. Okay. New meaning thereby altogether new content. You can generate a research paper. It has got that potential. Now, whether to use it for that purpose, that is again whether ethically it is right or wrong. Okay, definitely it is not the right way of doing things. Okay, so ethically it is not correct to use it for that purpose, but it is capable of doing so. Right. Baitule madam, you want to speak something? Okay. So so all these issues are there, right? But it is capable of generating music, okay, composing music for songs, okay, generating images. Okay, you must have seen a lot of controversies arriving out of all these aspects, but they have got that potential. Now, what is being challenged here is the innovation and creativity. These attributes were associated with human intelligence. Now, these things are being challenged by these Gen AI tools, right? Now, let us see few of these tools we will definitely have a look at, okay, in the second session probably. But we need to understand as a user whether these tools are freely available. The answer is big no. Okay, the beta version of them is freely available, but their pro version is paid. Okay, so pro version is paid. What is the reason for that? The reason is pretty simple. That is, most of them, the training cost is very high. Okay, you look at this is the data which is available from you can say Stanford University 2024 AI Index, which says that the GPT-4, the training cost is $78.4 million. Gemini Ultra is 191.4 US million dollar. So it is not at all possible for the manufacturer or the developers or the companies who are working day and night for the development of these tools to give you free of cost. Okay, so but the beta version of these tools are free. Okay, beta version of these tools are free with some limited functionality, but the pro versions are basically paid. Okay, now what is the threat? Okay, what is the game changer here is, as I was referring to, they have got the ability to challenge the creativity and innovation. Okay, so these generative AI tool can create entirely, as I was referring to. Okay, new article, maybe generating one complete research article. It is possible. Okay, but don't do that because that is ethically not correct. But we do have certain tools wherein you can do that, right? But that is why this is becoming one of the most challenging things, right? Let's say in the examination as well, when you are examining the students' assignment and so on, okay, whether they are applying their own brain or they are using some tools for attempting those answers. So that is becoming a $1 billion question nowadays, right? So, but if you look at the application areas of this Gen AI tool, content creation, drug discovery, that is, you can develop, rather discover new drugs, game design, simulation. Again, this is an indicative list. It is not an exhaustive list. There are many thousands of applications. Name the area, it is there. Now, being a user, we need to understand what are the key characteristics of these LLMs. Maybe say ChatGPT or any other Gen AI tool. Okay, so the very first one is what they call it as the text understanding. So they are capable of understanding text. Okay, so all these LLMs, maybe it is DeepSeek or ChatGPT or any other LLM, okay, they are all capable of understanding natural language through advanced algorithm that process word, sentence, and context. So word, sentence is okay, but they are even capable of understanding the context. Okay. So what is the context? That is the real, you can say the threat, right? So word sentence is all right, but context in which the question has been asked, but they have got that power. How, that we'll see later on, right? So text generation, they can generate coherent, contextually relevant text based on input queries. So whatever prompt you write, based on that, it will generate that text which is coherent, contextually relevant, and has got a lot of peculiar characteristics. Okay, so it is possible, right? It is possible to generate text understandings, text generation. These are the two things. Now, how do they work? Okay, they work in this typical methodical manner. Okay, so whatever prompt you write, okay, it is basically divided into tokens. So let's say in a prompt you have written 15 odd words. You are using 15 odd words. So those 15 odd words will be categorized at 15 tokens. Okay, so each word will be considered as a token. Okay, so that why it is so, because it will makes the job of the LLM easier. Okay, each token, each word. Okay, then what do they do normally? These tokens are embedded, that is they are converted into numerical vectors representing their meanings. Okay, now we just try to connect the dot, what we have seen, that is computing with words and so on, right? So this is simply extension to that. And then self-attention. The model assesses which parts of the text are most important. Okay, so it is not only capable of understanding the, you can say, the words, but their context as well. Okay, and what do they do? Normally they underline, just like when you appear in the examination, what do you do while attempting the question? You underline certain words, okay, which you feel are more important when while attempting the answer to those questions. So these are the three peculiar steps in which these LLM works. Now, what is left in our hand? We are left with only one thing, that is what they call it as the writing appropriate prompt, rather more efficient prompt or more precise prompt. Why I'm saying precise prompt? Because everything is in terms of number of tokens. So if you just try to recall, I said if you can get the same result with minimum number of tokens, definitely the second option is the best one, because whenever you go for a pro version, okay, it comes with some predefined token capacity associated with your subscription. Okay, 5,000 token, 15,000 token, and so on. So definitely we should minimize all these tokens. So effective prompt engineering is crucial in ensuring that the AI inputs are aligned with the user's expectation. That is how efficiently we can write, how concise, precise, okay, and with minimum words and better result. That is what is in our hand. Okay, so there is one complete discipline which has emerged nowadays, what they call it as the prompt engineering, right? That is called as the prompt engineering. Now, there are various techniques. Okay, we'll have a cursory look. We'll not go into the details. That is, the very first one is zero shot prompting, wherein you don't provide any prior example and you ask the Gen AI tool to generate the response. And this is how most of the time we refer to, rather we interact with all these LLM tools, wherein we ask a direct question. Okay, that is what is this, or explain this or something like that, without providing any examples. Okay, so that is zero shot prompting. But in this case, definitely you will get more generic responses. Okay, more generic responses, because your intentions are not clear. You have not provided any example. But let's say if you provide one example, okay, it is called as a one-shot prompting, wherein, let's say if I'm interested in generating a, you can say, a tagline for a product. Okay, just like say Hero Honda. Okay, there was a popular tagline for this particular product: "Fill it, forget it." Only 4 words, but those 4 words describes all the characteristics of that product. Okay, so if I give this as an example, okay, and if I ask the LLM to generate a tagline for some other product. Okay, now what I am specifying by giving this example, I am specifying that I want not more than 4 words. Okay, and should be something like this. Okay, and should talk about all the qualities of that particular product. Okay, so in this case, the job of the Gen AI tool or the LLM, okay, it will become quite easier, because you are providing one example. So you are indicating what are your intentions. Okay, you are indicating what are your intentions. So that is zero shot prompting, wherein, as I said, results are more generic due to lack of context. But one shot prompting, wherein you give some one example and ask the AI to act in accordance to that. Okay, there is one more thing, what they call it as the few shot prompting, wherein you are giving more than one example, maybe 2 or 3, and then you are asking the Gen AI tool to generate. There is one more thing, what they call it as the role prompting. Okay, wherein you can assign a role or a persona to any Gen AI tool, and then say, for example, assume yourself as a vice chancellor of a university. Okay, and assume yourself as a vice chancellor of a university, and now this is the problem which you are giving. Okay, now act up. What it will do in that case, it will go through all the rules, regulation of that particular university wherein you are working as a vice chancellor, and then it will come up with some appropriate answer. So it makes the job of the LLM quite easier. Okay, so that is called as the role or persona prompting. Okay, there are few more techniques, chain of thought, wherein you can break down a big task into smaller tasks and then give one by one, and the output of one step will be given as input to the next one, and so on. Okay, meta prompting is there, wherein you can ask the Gen AI tool to write prompts for you, which is highly dangerous, right? That is, we are giving that task to the Gen AI tool. Meta prompting. Tree of thought, that is multiple possible reasoning path. What it will do, let's say from this place to your native to some XYZ location, there are various possible paths. What it will do, it will find out the optimal path and so on. Then prompt chaining is there, wherein you can give some sequences and you can specify these steps and so on. Apart from this, there are few parameters which we need to know as a user. Okay. So I've talked about what are the characteristics of these LLMs, okay, or chat GPT or any other. Okay, these are all generic concept, whatever we are discussing, applicable to all. Maybe you are using DeepSeek or Llama or Gamma 3.2, right? Whatever, right? This is applicable to all. Now, there are a few more parameters which as a user we need to know. The very first parameter we need to know is the temperature. The range of value of this temperature is between 0 to 2. Okay, if you keep it small, okay, you will get more generic responses. Okay, but if you want to have more creative responses, you need to increase this value from 0 to maybe 1.0 or 1.5. Okay, in that case you will get better responses in terms of creativity and so on. There is one more parameter, what they call it as the max token. As I said, that is, tokens are crucial in any prompt. Okay, if you can minimize those tokens, so you can write a prompt wherein you can ask the Gen AI tool to use only those many number of tokens. That can be set again. How to set it, that we will see in the second session. Okay, then the top P, which is you can say the another parameter, that is how many potential word it must use. Okay, frequency penalty and presence penalty is again there, wherein these things can be used for avoiding the redundancy. So many times what happens whenever you interact with these tools, you get redundant responses. Okay, so if you want to avoid that redundancy, you can set this parameter, that is frequency penalty and presence penalty and so on. Having said this is all about, you can say, the Gen AI tools and so on, right? Now we need to know, let's say if you are writing some research article, okay, what are the guidelines for that? So whether you can use all these Gen AI tools for writing or generating altogether new research article, as I said, the answer is a big no. Okay, why it is so? Because all the flag tools, they are equally, you can say, powerful, that they will detect that whatever is the content written by you or whatever is the content generated by any Gen AI tool. So they will discriminate. Okay, and they will definitely, it will not exactly come up that whether this has been written by this particular tool, but it will say this is Gen AI tool stuff. Okay, so which will be considered as a plagiarism, as a plagiarized content. Okay, so which is highly dangerous. So that's why one should not use it. But there are guidelines by various publishing houses. Okay, this issue is nowadays a big issue. Okay, so most of the you can say the established publishing houses, they have come up with their own guideline in this regard. Say for example, you are all from engineering discipline, so there is a IEEE mandates which allow the use of this AI generated content only for editing and grammar enhancement, not for anything else, right? So you may use it only for editing purposes, maybe formatting and some grammar enhancement, because English is a foreign language for most of the people, right? So you may use it for grammar enhancement. That is all right. But anything other than that, okay, it will be treated as right? It will be treated as plagiarized content, right? Having said this, there are thousands of tools Okay, this is again an indicative list. Some of the tools we will definitely have a hands-on, like say Consensus, Illicit, Research Rabbit, okay, then Skyspace, okay, u.com, and so on, right? So we'll have some hands-on some of these tools, okay, and I think I have talked about the problem, what they call it as the black box problem. So the solution is, we'll not go into the details, but people are working on this. So the hot topic in AI is nowadays what they call it as the explainable AI or the glass box approach. Okay, what is it? It is the solution to the black box problem. Okay, so it is explain. It is normally represented by XAI, wherein X represent for explainable AI. Now you can very well conclude that how you are arriving at a particular answer. Okay, that is what is this glass box approach is all about. Okay, there are few models which are available, okay, in the market. One of them is the LIME, that is local interpretable model agnostic explanation, and the second one is the SHAP, that is Shapley additive explanations. These two models are popularly available under this area. Okay, but there are some frameworks as well. That is what they call it as the FAT framework, wherein FAT stands for fairness, accountability, and transparency. So as I was referring to, all these tools, they suffer from these three important issues. And based on that, these frameworks are nowadays coming up, okay, which will address all those problems associated with this black box AI. That is fairness, accountability, and transparency. This is called as FAT framework. Okay. Now we are almost done with the first part of our, you can say, the session. Okay, wherein we have concluded the, you can say, the theoretical foundation of this technology. That is, what is AI? Okay, if you just allow me to sum up what we have discussed till now. So I like to tell you that is, we have started with the definition of AI. Then we have seen what is soft computing, okay, how it is different from the traditional approaches, what they call it as the hard computing, and so on. And then later on, we have seen what are various, you can say, the constituents of soft computing, wherein we have talked about what they call it as the fuzzy system, neural networks, okay, evolutionary computing, and probabilistic reasoning, right? So four constituents. Out of those four, we have seen few aspects, few rather important aspects. That is what they call it as the computing with words, and then what is Gen AI? Okay, what is the power of Gen AI? Okay, or generative AI tools? Okay, and then some of the problems, rather only one problem which we have seen is what they call it as the black box problem in AI. And at the end, we have seen what is explainable AI, or what is the solution to that black box problem in AI, which is referred to as a glass box approach or explainable AI. Okay, typically represented by XAI. Okay. Now, what is happening? Whatever solutions, the new research is in that area, wherein people are coming up with the traditional approach, and they are putting some, what they call it as the explainable component. That is the additional component which is being provided by most of the researchers, right? So with this, I think we are almost done. So with the first session. Now, I am happy to see that there are around 72 odd participants present in the meeting. It's a great number. Okay, I know today is Saturday. Okay, and apart from Saturday, again, 6th December. All right. So, yes, if there are any questions, okay, I'll be happy to answer. But what we'll do definitely in the second session, we will have some hands-on. So, sir, which AI tool is helpful for taking help to write any research paper? We will address this, ma'am, definitely in the second session. Okay. There are many. There are many tools. There are many tools. Yes. Few of them we will discuss in the second session. Yes. Anybody else would like to ask anything?
Sir, it was a wonderful session.
Thank you.
Actually, you explained the concepts in a very simplified way.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Namrata madam is there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Namrata Mahakalkar, your student is
Yes, 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 yes. How are you?
sir. All good, sir. So all the concepts you explained, they were in a very simplified way, in
Thank
a
you. Thank you.
very easy.
Thank you so much. So what we'll do, we'll take a break for 10 minutes. I don't know whether you require a break, but I definitely require a break. Okay. Because again, 90 minutes non-stop is a little bit challenging, right? So
Sure,
we
sir.
will,
Sure.
yeah, please don't go away. What we'll do, we'll break for 10 minutes. Okay. It's 3:15. Okay. So 3:25, if you can rejoin, or otherwise if you want to stay connected, no problem, but we'll take a break for 10 minutes. All right. Thank you very much for a patience hearing. Definitely we'll have brainstorming in the second session. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sure.
Welcome back. A few more people have joined. Okay. When I left, the count was 71. Now it is 73. Great. Right. So again, I welcome you all for this second session. Okay. As I said that we'll be discussing. I hope I'm loud and clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Check. Thank you. So I think the beginning I have told you that I have shared one document, okay, which is the National Strategy of AI, okay, which is a discussion paper. So I request all of you to please go through it. We will not have, you can say, in-depth discussion at this point of time, but definitely there are certain areas which is of concern for all of us as a academic fraternity. Okay, the issues are like, say, you can say the adaptive learning platforms, okay, which you will witness. Okay, probably we will not be there, okay, because I don't have much time left with my career. Okay, but you people, those who are particularly young, okay, you will witness those things which will be coming in due course of time. And one of the uh, aspect is what they call it as the adaptive learning platform, which will enable the student to get tailored contents, okay, with lot of student engagement using what they call it as the augmented reality or virtual reality or mixed virtual reality and whatnot. Okay, the another important area which will emerge is the gamification. Okay, that is learning through games, okay, involved gaming and competitive techniques for teaching learning purposes. Okay, and blockchain is the another area. Okay, up to some extent, this ABCD is similarly on the similar line. So wherein you may have your academic credentials on the go, right, in the form of all these platforms like say ABCDID and so on. Okay, so but AI will be definitely dominating the intel, the education landscape, I should say. Okay, so there are a lot of challenges. Okay, but along with those challenges, there are certain advantages as well of this technology, and there are some gray areas. Okay, which needs our concern as well as the, you can say, the people those who are into this particular uh, discipline, that is computer science. Okay, definitely they have to take all those aspects a little bit seriously. So the advantages or the, you can say, the plus side is wherein you have got accessibility anywhere anytime. So if you are willing to learn, there's no limit. Okay, massification is again possible. There are areas, I'll show you certain tools wherein some localization is again is very much possible. Then AI may be used to analyze student data. Okay, that is again the another area wherein a lot of things will be happening in the years to come. And engagement enhancement can be increased. Okay, say for example, right now I'm delivering this in an online mode. So how can I make this, you can say, the deliberation more engaging and more interesting? So on all those aspects, a lot of things are coming up. Okay, and you will witness maybe in a year or so. So there are some new avenues for learning, self-paced learning, upskilling. Self-paced learning is one of the area, right? So what happens? What are the limitations when it comes to classroom teaching? Is what do we do as a teacher? Is most of the time we give similar treatment to all the students, but in the class of 60 or 80, okay, you have students, those who are fast learners, slow learners, and there are students in between as well. But we give them similar treatment because we have our own limitation. Most of the time we keep in our mind the fast learner, accordingly we go on delivering. So all these issues, that is self-paced learning, will be addressed by the platforms wherein you will have a self-paced kind of a learning environment, okay, which will be completely tailor made as per the student's need. Okay, but there are some gray areas, as I said, that is still we are struggling with the technical infrastructure requirement, like say internet and so on. And quality control and credibility of education is again at stake up to some extent. Right. Now, having said this, uh, there are certain things which are happening at the government front, wherein uh, if you look at the tagline of this particular paper, discussion paper itself, you will find that it is AI for all. Okay, it is AI for all. It is not for merely for teachers, or it is for everybody. It is the tagline. And from this tagline itself, you can understand that is what is the agenda of the government of India. Okay. So having said this, as I have promised that in the second session, we will have some hands-on on some of these tools. Okay. So we'll go one by one, and we will touch upon some aspects wherein that is there are certain issues, like say when you make use of all these tools, like say uh, chat gpt or any llm, what happens is your credentials are at stake, I should say. That is your API keys and whatever prompt you are writing, whatever are the responses, it is in public domain, I should say. It is with the tool as well. So you cannot carry out any confidential work. Okay, let's say you want to set some question paper, then it is not possible. So how to safeguard yourself from all those three? That again will touch upon, wherein we will discuss some frameworks wherein you can download these LLMs onto your local machine, and you can work with them, okay, by without compromising on your you can say the secrecy or confidentiality front. Right. Now, having said this, we'll go one by one. The uh, very first tool is what they call it as the notebook LM. Okay, I'll start from some certain tools. Some of you must be using it, but let's say this is for the masses. Okay, so even though you are using it, okay, we will not spend more than 5 to 10 minutes on each tool. Okay, so my idea is to simply expose you to the various tools. Okay, so the very first tool, and there are certain other tools, what they call it as the now things are moving ahead with what they call it as the agentic AI. Okay, again, under agentic you have got very many things. Okay, no code, and there are so many things, right? So again, on agentic front, if time permits, we will have some hands-on on some of the tools, that is how to automate, rather how to create your own agent. Okay, AI agent for performing some routine task. Okay, so having said this, we will start with a very basic tool. Okay, what they call it as the notebook LM. Have you heard this tool? If you are well acquainted, okay. If you are really using it, please let me know. We will skip that tool. We'll go to the next one. Right. Now I'm sharing my entire screen. I hope it is visible to you. Any one of you just confirm.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So as I have told you that we will start with notebook LM, which is a product of Google. Okay, for using this notebook LM, you don't require anything other than a Gmail account. Okay, now I'll be logging in through my Gmail account. Okay, so then if you go to this, okay, simply look at the notebook LM. Here it is. You are all from technology background, so I don't think that I need to explain it in detail. Okay, but uh, how many of you are using this tool, first of all? Whether you are using this tool for teaching, learning, or research purposes? Even you can put your response in the chat box. If you are using it, I will skip it. That is the only objective. There is no other reason to ask. Anyway, so there is no response. I presume that you are not using it. Let us go ahead with this particular tool, Notebook LM. Right. So let us see the power of this particular tool. Okay. Now somebody has responded. Let me check. No, sir. Actually, it's okay. So that means that you are not using it. So this is the Notebook LM, as I have told you, right? So you need to go to this create new. Okay, I have logged in from my Gmail account. Okay, then you may say notebooklm.google.com. Okay, create new. Let me, I think my video is off. Yeah. Okay. So go to this create new. Okay. Click on create new. You will find something like this on the screen. Okay. So you'll find something like this on the screen. Okay. You can pick any one of these options for specifying the source. Okay. The very first option is, let's say if you have got some file on your desktop or laptop, okay, you can drag and drop it here. Okay. Or you may, or drop your files. Okay. You may upload files directly, or you can fetch some contents from certain websites. Okay, let's say one research paper which I want to fetch directly instead of downloading and then uploading in the notebook LM. Okay, you can fetch it directly, but there are certain conditions which are applicable. That is, that stuff must be in public domain. If it is not, then you will not get access to it. Okay, let's say some IEEE paper is there, okay, wherein some controlled access is there, then it will not work. Okay, but let's say if some open access journal is there, okay, and you want to fetch that paper which is available in the public domain, you can directly do that. That is, you can specify all those websites, or let's say if it is there on your drive, Google Drive, you can upload it from here, or let's say something which you have copied it, you can paste it directly. Okay, that so these are the 4 5 options available to you. Okay, apart from this, there is one more option, that is what they call it as the search the web. Okay, for the resources. So here you may specify. Okay, you may specify what exactly you intend to do. Okay, say for example, this is the option which I am looking for. Let's say AI in, let's say, healthcare. Okay, AI in healthcare, very generic. This is basically you are writing a prompt. Okay, but it is not exactly a prompt. Actually, it is the area I intend to search for. Okay, very generic sort of a area. Okay, so AI in healthcare. What it is doing, it is researching the websites. Okay, it will identify the sources, and all those sources will be listed out one by one. Right. So it has identified how many? 7 sources. Okay, 7 sources it has identified. And if you can see here, there is a button called import. So if you click on this import button, all these files will be imported into the resources tab. Okay, so simply click on this import, all those files will be imported here in the sources tab. Okay, so as you can see here, there are around 10 odd sources, okay, which has taken up directly from the websites, from the various sources. Okay, and all those sources we have imported. Okay, then what next is, on the central panel you have a panel called chat, wherein you can chat with all these 10 sources. Okay, so you can type your query here, and it will respond you in accordance to that query. So there are some suggestions as well. Okay, say for example, this is the prompt generated by the notebook LM. Okay, now this is the query which I am asking. It is giving me the responses, and it is gathering information from all those 10 sources. Okay, not only that, it is giving me, you can say, the source from where it is taking that stuff. Say for example 4, 5, all those numbers are appearing here. Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, that is one thing. Apart from this, if you look at the right hand side, you have got studio functionality. Now what is there in a studio is, you have got support for these many Indian languages. That is Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, I don't know other languages, but Hindi and Marathi is obviously there, right? So let's say you want to learn this particular topic, okay, and you want to generate a audio, okay, audio file in your native language. Okay, that is very much possible. So you need to simply pick up particular language. By default it is in English. Okay, so what it will do, it will convert the entire, you can say, the sources or one particular source, whatever you specify, and it will convert it into a conversational audio. Conversational audio meaning thereby, one person will be asking the question, the other fellow will be responding to that question. Okay, somebody has raised hand, or all right. All right. So, but this will take some time. Okay, it is being generated, but as I have told you that it will be executed on the Google Cloud. So definitely it will take some time. It is generating an audio overview. Now you may ask, sir, what is the use of this audio overview? So what you can do, you can download this audio file, okay, copy it on your mobile, and you can listen to it whenever you are free. Okay, so you can very well grasp that concept quite easily. Okay, so that is for learning purposes. On the similar line, you may generate a video output. Okay, so this is a video overview, but again, video overview will take a lot of time. Okay, but we'll not try with that, but you can later on go on experimenting with this. Okay, apart from that, you can generate a mind map. Okay, mind map of all the sources. You can generate reports, various reports. Okay, now what is there in reports? Again, you have got a number of various types of reports, right? You can create your own briefing doc, study guide, blog post. You can generate a blog post as well, right? Using this tool. Okay, informational outline, concept explainer is there, white paper is there, strategic brief is there, and so on. So it all depends what kind of report you want. Accordingly, you can pick it up, okay, and go ahead with the presentation. Oh, sorry, with the generation of that report. So creating report is possible. You can generate flashcards. Let's say this is for the students' activity. If you want to generate some flashcard kind of activity, that is again possible. Okay, quiz can be directly generated. Infograph, these two features are recently added. Okay, that is why beta is there. So this is beta version. It generates an AI infographic based on your sources. Okay, whatever sources are, so it will generate. So let's say these sources you have identified, you want to prepare a PowerPoint presentation. Simply go to this slide deck. Okay, it will prepare a fantastic presentation. Okay, I've generated one. Okay, in the last session. Okay, let me show you that presentation. Okay, this is with regard to the supervised learning and so on. Look at this. Okay, so everything is well defined, right? So if you look at the formatting, and it is a professional presentation. Okay, so this can be done within no time, I tell you. Okay, by a single click. Okay, it will generate. Okay, and if you look at the number of sources it has used, is approximately 10. Okay, approximately 10. Most of the time it goes for, most of the time takes 10 sources at a time. Okay, maybe some limitations are there, but as on date, this particular tool is completely free. Okay, as on date, this tool is completely free. So this is LM Studio. Okay, so let me show you. It is still generating that audio. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, just allow me to show the mind map. Okay, it is generating mind map now. Okay. And the real power is you can generate in your own native language, that is either Hindi or in Marathi or whatever you are comfortable with. Okay. So that is again possible. That is again possible. Yeah. Now this one is almost done. Let us try to play this. So it is a 15-minute audio clip. Okay. As I said, it is a conversational audio. So this is enough, I think. Okay, then this is what we have generated, what they call it as the mind map. Okay, this is what I was referring to. You can download this mind map or whatever audio or video you have generated, and you can use it for teaching learning purposes. Right. So this is all with regard to Notebook LM. Okay. Now, before I proceed further, let's say if you have some specific query with regard to now this can be used for even research purpose. Okay, there is nothing wrong in that. Okay, you may specify the query accordingly. You identify the sources, and then you may use it. Okay, for generation of reports and so on. So this is a very fantastic tool, and as on date, it is freely available. Okay, there is no subscription fee as on date, right? Maybe after a few days they may start charging you certain things. Okay, but as on date it is completely free. It is completely free. All right. So this is one fantastic tool, what they call it as the Notebook LM. Okay, now if you have got any specific query, you can fire it now so that we can discuss, and then we'll move further with some other tools. Okay, this is what I was referring to. You can download the file. Okay, if required. Okay, some PNG file will be generated. Okay, you may use it for your you can say whatever purpose you intend to be used for. Okay, so this is Notebook LM. Yes. Any specific query? All right. Now let us move ahead with the second tool. I know I am going little fast. Okay, but the idea is to demonstrate as many tools as possible. Okay, there is no other reason. Later on, you can explore it on your own. Okay, and you can pick up one appropriate tool, whatever you feel is good for the area you are working into. So the another tool is what they call it as illicit. Okay, illicit is the next tool. Okay, URL is illicit.com. Okay. Illicit is typically used for analysis and synthesis of research paper. Okay, if you want to analyze or synthesize certain research paper, okay, you can do it quite easily with the help of this particular tool. Again, the beta version is freely available, but the pro version is paid. But again, the free version has got lot of things to do. Okay, you can do lot many things using free version as well. Okay, let us try this illicit. Okay, and what you need to do for using this tool, simply go to illicit.com and log in using your Gmail account. Now, there's one small suggestion from my end. Okay, because whatever tools I'll be demonstrating you, they are all free initially, but as I said, their pro version is paid. So it's better that you create a separate Gmail ID. Okay, because otherwise what will happen, your mailbox will be bombarded with a lot of commercial mail asking you to go for a paid subscription. Okay, so as to avoid that, it's better to create a separate Gmail ID and use it exclusively for this purpose. Okay, this is my personal, based on my personal experiences I am sharing with you. Because what has happened, I have started using my Gmail ID, and as you can see here, it is my personal Gmail ID. Now I am facing that problem. Okay, that based on that, I am giving you some advice. Okay, so let us try something. AI in, sorry, healthcare. Let us try the same thing. I have given some prompt. Okay. I hope I am loud and clear. There is some problem with regard to the connectivity. That's why my connection is stable, whether you can hear me. Yes or no? At least in the chat box. Otherwise, what will happen after 1 hour or so? You will say, sir, you are you are not audible. That should not happen. Okay. Whether you can hear me? All right. I presume that you can hear me, right? Okay. So what has happened? I have given one small query, that is AI in healthcare education in India. So what has happened? It has sorted out some 10 to 15 odd. I hope this is visible to you. Okay, 10 papers. Most of the time, this 10 is a magic number. Okay, it will not go beyond 10. Okay, so 10 paper it has identified. Now, what I want to do is, and if you can see here, the paper along with the title, author, those things are there on the left-hand column. And one more column is there, what they call it as the summary, wherein the executive summary of each paper is presented. All right. Now, let's say I want to find out some research gap. I think somebody was referring to that in the first session. Somebody has asked some tools. Okay, so this is for analyzing and synthesizing research paper. Okay, so you can add in the free version as many as four column in a single go. Okay, not more than four. Okay, so let us try to add some column. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see here, this plus sign is there. Okay. Or you may go to this edit column. Okay. Under edit column, simply say add a new. Okay. And type in the objective, whatever title you want to give to that column. Say research gaps. Okay. Research gaps. Simply say add a column. I hope I'm not going very fast. Okay. So it is add a column. What has happened? If you look at this, one more column is being added here. Okay. One more column is being added and it is being populated from the stuff, from the various sources. So all those 10 research papers, one by one, it will analyze and it will extract the research gaps mentioned in those papers. Right. So this way you can go, as I've told you, as many as four columns. Okay, not more than four. But the solution to that restriction is you may delete the earlier column and go for the go on adding the new columns. Okay, so that is very much possible. Okay, that is very much possible. Now you can very well copy and paste the stuff, or you can export it. Okay, but these features are not there in the free version. Okay, in free version, export is not possible, but you can copy and paste. Okay, so there are some limitation, okay, in terms of usability. Okay, but let's say even if you upgrade your plan and you go for some subscription, it is not. I'm not here to advertise these product, but it is not a very high value. $12 a month. It is saying maybe around. Okay, so let's say if you are active researcher, okay, or your institution may go ahead with some subscription plan. Okay, that is possible. So this is illicit. This is illicit. What is the purpose of this tool? The purpose is to analyze and synthesize research papers. Okay, analyze and synthesize research paper. Okay. So anything you would like to ask with regard to this? Okay. Chali, let us move ahead with something else. Okay, and that is research rabbit. Okay, so research rabbit is again a tool for analyzing, rather, sorry, carrying out literature survey. Okay, carrying out literature survey. Okay, so again, my free plan has expired, but you can do lot many things with this research rabbit. Okay, uh, say for example, you want to search. Yeah, this is my library right now. I'm showing you. Okay, so you can specify any topic you intend to search for. Maybe let's say AI in linguistic or AI in psychology or whatever it is, right? Whatever is the topic. Okay, what it will do, it will give you n number of papers. Okay, now you may ask, sir, what is new in that? Okay, so what is wrong with regard to searching in Google? So Google is not providing you any kind of support, AI based support, but this tool has got a fantastic support. Okay, it will give you certain suggestions. Okay, apart from that, there are very many things which you can do with the help of this particular research search, that is literature survey. You may go ahead with maybe quartile one journals, quartile two, quartile three, quartile four. Okay, depending upon your need, or you can even specify the journal H index. Okay, whether you intend to search for open access journals, whether you intend to search papers which are retracted. So retraction paper is again possible here, right? So you may go ahead with all those things. So there are very many things which you can set here quite easily. Okay, and apart from that, it will give you a fantastic diagram, what they call it as uh, the graphical presentation of how the research work is connected with each other. Okay, so that is again possible with the help of this, but again, my free trial has expired. Okay, so I'll not be able to show you very many things, but I'll show you with the help of another tool wherein that is this connected papers is on the similar line. Okay, so this is typically used for carrying out literature survey. Okay, in a very you can say time efficient manner. Okay, literature survey. Okay, let me show you one thing, what they call it as the connected papers. Okay, so the diagrams I was referring to, that is this is the connected papers. Okay, so it will build fantastic graph which you may use it in your uh, paper as well. So AI in say healthcare. This is the same prompt I have given here. Okay, look at this. Yes, there we are. So the similar kind of connected the graphs, okay, it will show you in the Research Rabbit as well. Okay, Research Rabbit as well. Now you may ask, sir, what is the use of this graph? Okay, it will help you in identifying the real literature in your domain and how one author's work is connected with the second author and so on. So that is possible using this, you can say, these connected graphs. Okay, you may simply, by simply clicking at this prior work, you can go through the prior work, okay, with regard to the work you are searching for, or maybe some derivative works. So this will make your job quite uh, efficient and handy, okay, for identifying the real literature in your domain. So this is connected papers, okay, just like Research Rabbit, this connected papers. And then I think I have told you about illicit, okay, uh, and so on. All right. Now there are uh, few tools on the research front, like say, I think Notebook LM I have already told you, but there are tools like say Sky Space, okay. So, but before moving ahead with those tools, okay, if there is any specific queries, okay, with regard to the tools, whatever I am showing you, you wanted to know the functionality or some aspect, okay, I'll be happy to reply here only, because otherwise we need to toggle between tools and so on. Okay, so this is you can say the illicit, then connected papers and Research Rabbit. All right. Now let us move ahead with certain tools with regard to what they call it as. Let's say you want to work on a platform, okay, wherein I was referring to setting up of a question paper. So let's say if you interact with ChatGPT or any other platform, okay, directly, what will happen? Your chat along with the responses, okay, there is every possibility that you are making some compromises in that regard, because that actually the whatever prompt you write, it is being executed on the cloud of the tool. Okay, so there is threat to secrecy, privacy, and so on. So I'll show you certain frameworks, okay, wherein you need not have to worry about those aspects. What you can do, you can download models. Rather, first of all, we need to download the framework, and then you can populate that framework with various models. Open source model, definitely. Okay, wherein you don't require any subscription fee and so on. And still you can very well get the responses, whatever you used to get on the online mode. Okay, so the first framework in this area is what they call it as LM Studio. Okay, so LM Studio free download. LM Studio free download. You'll find this lmstudio.ai. Okay, now it works on Mac, Linux, as well as Windows. Okay, definitely, since we are working on Windows, we need to pick up the Windows one. But the only problem with this rather framework is, even though it is freely available, but it is a very resource hungry framework. That is, for downloading and running this, you have to have a good machine at your disposal. Say, for example, it requires minimum i7 processor with Windows 10 minimum, 10 onwards, it will work. Okay. And it is a resource hungry tool, as I've told you. Okay. So what you need to do is simply download without logging or creating any account. One executable file will be downloaded in your download folder. Okay, double click, install it. Okay, provide some basic detail, and then you can populate it with various models. Okay, I'll show you the version which I have downloaded in my machine. Okay, this is my LM Studio. Okay, and I have populated it with two basic model, LLM model. Okay, you can add as many as you require. It all depends what kind of area you are dealing with. Okay, so as you can see here, this is LM Studio 0.3.32, and now 3.3 is available. Now it is asking me to update. Okay, you may ignore it, remind me later. Okay, and let's say, as I have told you that at present, I have got only two models here. The very first model is Llama 3.2, 1B instruct. Okay, and the second one is the Gamma 2, 2B instruct. Okay, so you can pick up any one of them as per your own need. Simply you can select any of the model, whatever you feel appropriate, and here you can give whatever prompts you feel like. Now, what is the advantage of having this kind of a framework? Is whatever responses you will get, it will be kept on your. Now, you don't require any internet connectivity for using this tool. Okay, you don't require any internet connectivity. Okay, you don't require any internet connectivity. Load it and populate it with the desired model. Okay, the only thing you need is you need to simply run it. Okay, and within the framework, whatever model you want to play with, okay, you can select that particular model from the drop down list and start interacting with the model. Now, whatever prompt you will type and whatever responses you will get in response to that model, okay, in response to that prompt, it will be kept on your local machine. So there is no threat to your privacy, secrecy, and so on. So this is again a very fantastic tool for preserving your privacy and secrecy. Okay. So this is LM Studio. Okay. LM Studio. But the only thing is that it is a resource hungry tool. Okay. You have to have good configuration machine. Okay. That is the only problem. Okay. Apart from that, there's nothing. Yes. So you may type the responses. Okay. You may integrate it. It will work as if you are working on online. Okay, this is the download button wherein you can add up few things. Okay, this is LM Studio. Okay, this is LM Studio. Then next is let's go online. Okay, and see. Now you are confused that what to do. There are thousands of models. Okay, there are thousands of models. Okay, now how to pick one appropriate model for yourself? Okay, so there is a platform called openrouter.ai. Okay, openrouter.ai. Simply go to openrouter.ai. It will show you how many models are there as on date. Okay, now this list is again growing. Okay, say for example, yesterday if you have logged in, okay, you may find some 780 models. Now you may find some different number over there. Right now it is 585 models. Last time when I logged in, it was 580. So this is you can say open router is a framework wherein you can interact with more than one model from the same platform. Okay, now this is very much possible. Let's say you are not sure many times which model is best for you, right? Which model is best for you. So what you can do, depending upon your requirement, you can very well select the modalities what you intend to look for. what you intend, what you are looking for. Say, for example, the input modalities are, let's say, text and so on. So by simply clicking on this, you can, it will sort out all those models which are there with regard to that particular input modalities. Similarly, you can pick up the output modalities, like say for example, I am picking up text as the input modality, okay, and then output modality is, let's say, again text, okay. So it has sorted out certain models, okay, and this is what I was referring to: embedding, context length, prompt pricing, and there were few more things, okay, which we have talked about, is the various features. So all those features you can very well set here. Okay, now let's try something on uh, certain models. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll chat with some of the models. Okay, so chat, now it is showing me a number of things over there. Okay, so these are my earlier chats. Okay, I'll go ahead with those chats only. So as you can see here, now it is giving me responses with regard to Grok Code Fast 1 or Olmo 3, 7B Think, okay, or Grok 4.1 Fast 1 and so on. So this way I can add, and I may add n number of models here. Okay, I may add maybe GPT 5.1 and simply fire my query. So it will give me a comparative analysis of all those, you can say, the responses of all those models. Okay, so that I can pick up anyone whatever I feel is the most appropriate depending upon my requirement. Right. So this open router is a fantastic platform uh, for a comparative analysis. Okay. Apart from that, it gives you the rankings of various models. Okay, so rankings of all those 580 models. Okay, this is the leaderboard here. Okay, wherein you may see that this Grok 4.1 fast. This is who is the provider, that is XAI in this case. And then if you simply click on that, it is showing me the rank of this particular Grok 4.1 fast. For legal aspects, it is numbered as #1. Okay, marketing again 1, academia 1, role play 1, technology 1, and whatnot. Okay, now I may compare this with some other model. Okay, so the second model you can pick up here. Okay, and then you may chat with these two models uh, in a live manner directly. Okay, those two models have been selected. Now I am getting AI in education, okay, and the responses with regard to those models, right? So it will come up with the responses. So you can chat with more than one model, okay, from the same platform. But again, up to few token, it is freely available. But definitely, if you want to, you need to buy credits. Okay, you need to buy credits, and for buying credits, definitely you need to pay. Okay, so Open Router is a fantastic platform, okay, for looking at various model, okay, and comparing them, okay, taking a final call on which particular model is the best one, and so on, right? So this is Open Router. Okay. Now, if you just try to recall, I was referring to all these parameters. So you can set the context length, okay, prompt pricing, okay, or maybe the temperature and all. It all depends upon what kind of model you are dealing with, and you can set all. You can play with all those parameters, okay, whatever we have talked about in our session one, right? Session one, wherein we have seen that is what is you can say all these parameters are all about. Okay, so you can specify that context length by simply clicking on this, okay, and so on. Now this is all about Open Router. Okay, again later on you can explore it at your end. Okay, I'll not go into the details, but there is one more platform which is available on the similar line, is what they call it as the Olama. Okay, Olama is very similar to the framework which we have talked about, what they call it as the LM Studio. So Olama is a replacement for that. Okay, it is once again a framework, okay, which you can download on your local machine. You can download it for Windows, as you can see here, okay, without even creating your account or signing in. Okay, so once you download it, you need to install it. Once you installed on your local machine, again you can very well, you what you can do, you can populate it with the various sources. Okay, this is Olama. Okay, now I'm opening that Olama again. Resource hungry, definitely. Okay, because these what is happening is you are trying to run all those models, okay, on your local machine, local host. Okay, so definitely you have to have good resources, because otherwise whatever query you fire goes to the cloud and then you get the responses. So this is right now I am interacting with that Olama. So Olama is again a framework. Again, you need to download it, okay, on your local machine, and then definitely you can work on. So there are very many things which you can try with regard to this Olama, okay, which is a substitute to what they call it as, which is a substitute to LM Studio. So if you are happy with LM Studio, there is no problem, but this is another alternative available. Okay, if you do not want to work with LM Studio, then you can very well try this. Okay, having said this, uh, there are few things which are little bit uh, trending nowadays, what they call it as the robotic process automation. Or there is one complete category of tools available under this head. Okay, what they call it as the RPA tool, or robotic process automation tool. Under this category, we have a lot of possibilities. Okay, the very first one is what they call it as the Blue Prism. Second is the Work Fusion. Third is the UI path. Fourth is the Automation Anywhere, and the fifth is the PEGA. But the problem with all these tools, as the name suggests, as I have told you, that these are referred to as the RPA tool, robotic process automation tool. So wherein the robotic stands for an entity which has the capability to mimic human behavior. Okay, so we can create agents using this complete category of tools. And what is process? Process is a sequence of steps, you may say, okay, uh, that are linked together to perform some meaningful activity. Okay, that is a process. Okay, and automation is doing task without human intervention. Once you develop a agent, what it will do, it will work day and night and it will carry out the activity for you. So you may create a research agent as well, right? So it all depends what kind of problem you are dealing with. We'll just try some hands-on on these tools. But as I have told you that most of these tools, they are available in the commercial version only. That is, the academic versions are not available. The only tool which provides you some scope to play with is the UI path. Okay. So UI path is the only tool which provides you community edition of UI path, which you can download on your local machine, and you can develop some uh, RPA kind of activity, okay, using that tool. So what you need to do is simply Google UI path, let's say community edition. Okay, that too community edition is available. Okay, their commercial product is again not available uh, for free download. Let's say free download, right? So this you will find. Okay, download UiPath Studio Community Edition. Okay, again, very resource hungry. Minimum i7 processor or good amount of primary memory and Windows 11 onwards. Okay, 10, 11, it will work. Okay, not on the lower version. Okay, so you have to download this and then install it. I have installed it on my machine. Just allow me to, okay, let me close this. Now this is my UiPath Studio. It will take some time. Now it is being loaded. Oh, okay. So this is the layout of this UiPath Studio. Okay, the beauty of this tool is without writing a single line of code, you can develop lot of projects. Okay, the only thing you need to be clear about is the flow and your idea. Okay, once you are sure about your idea flow, okay, you without writing a single line of a code, you can develop fantastic projects using this tool. Okay, now as you can see here on the right hand side, okay, this is a studio. Okay, this is a studio wherein as you can see, various tools are there, then templates are there, certain ready-made templates are there for doing some routine jobs. Okay, on the right hand side, new project, process, library, test automation, okay, templates, again, lot of templates for doing some regular activity and so on. So I have built a small project, okay, using this UiPath Studio, okay, which I will show you. The functionality of this project is pretty simple. I am asking the user to input his or her name, and he or she will be prompted with some welcome message. Okay. Simply, I'll load this so that you will feel the heat. That is how it works. As I've told you that this is a little resource hungry tool. It will be slow if you have old machine, but let's say if you have got a fantastic hardware at your disposal, okay, it will not take much time. But my machine is i7 basically, but generation is not appropriate because it is 4 years old. Right. So what I've done here is I have identified a sequence. So the sequence is defined. Okay. Sequence is defined. Okay. What I'm doing, I'm picking up all those boxes from this left-hand side and dragging and dropping here. Okay. So one sequence I have specified, then I'm asking the user, as I said, input dialog, wherein the user will be prompted to input his or her name. And then I'm displaying some welcome message. That is welcome to the session, something like that. Only three activities, small activities, without writing any code, simply dragging and dropping various boxes and done. Okay. Now let us try to run this. Okay. This is the run button. Okay. Debug F6 or run. Now it is being executed. Yes. So there we are. What is your name? Muhammad Atik. Now it is saying welcome to the session because that is the only functionality which I have defined over there. Now I have not written any a single line of a code. Still, you can build projects. Okay, that is the beauty of it. Okay, so for building your agents, Now this is a robotic process automation, right? You can build agents using this. Okay, there are a lot of things. I tell you, this is only the, you can say the, we are simply having a cursory look at all these aspects. Okay, but you can build agent using these tools. Okay, so this is uh, RPA tool UI path. Okay, UI path. Welcome to the session, and so on. Okay, let me even you can extract some data from various sources, online sources. Okay, that is again possible. Okay, and then you can build a lot of projects in with regard to that. Okay, so there are a lot of commercial applications. That's why I said these tools are not freely available. Okay, why they are not freely available? Because there is some commercial activity which can be done using all these tools. Okay, so this is you can say the your first UI path. Okay, now let's say you are attending this meeting and you want to take online notes. Okay, so that is again possible. Okay, there are many applications, but I'll show you only one, what they call it as the Granula. Okay, Granula is the app, okay, wherein you are supposed to simply give access to your calendar. What it will do, it will catch hold of all those events, and your assistant will attend on your behalf, and it will take notes for that particular right. You can say the activity and so on. So you can very well take notes, textual notes, I'm saying. Okay. Again, I don't know up to how many meetings it allows you, but maybe around 10 to 20 odd meetings, you can very well take notes. Okay. So this is Granula, right? This is Granula. Okay. Granula, again, you may try. One last tool which I would love to share with you is the agentic AI, right? So what is happening nowadays is instead of doing some routine task manually, okay, you can build agent. Okay, so there are again thousands of platforms, I tell you. Okay, but only one I would love to share with you is the Zapier. Okay, again Zapier will allow you access only for maybe 7 days. Okay, not more than that. But you can build agent and you can feel the heat, right? You can feel the heat. That is how good it is. So simply go to this Zapier, okay, agents.zapier.com, okay, and then log in through your login credentials. Okay, if it is your institutional ID, it will work fine. It will give you certain credits as well. For example, right now I've got these many credits at my in my account, and simply say new agent. Okay, go to this agent and then say new agent. Okay, there are some built-in templates available. Okay, there are certain activities which are there in case of what they call it as the commercial organizations, like say customer related certain things. Okay, some sort of support or whatever you feel appropriate. Let's say this customer sentiment analysis is one thing, or say sales prep agent, okay, or support email agent. So let us try this support email agent. Okay, if you click on that, what will happen? You will get some prompt as well. This is the trigger. Okay, you may change it as per your own need. Okay, and you need to give access to your Gmail. So what it will do, uh, it will access all your email from your mailbox, and it will respond to whatever activity you have written here. Let's say you have written some draft email. Okay, so it will respond to all those queries automatically. Or maybe, let's say if you draft it in such a way that you want to go through the, you can say the responses, whatever you need to send to the customers. Okay, you may go through it and then you may send it. Okay, but it will create a draft email automatically. Or let's say if you programmed it in such a manner that it will write your complete mail and send it to the customer. That is again possible. So Gmail, okay, new email, simply say. This is the agent we are trying to create. Okay, I've created, I think, this one, which is already there. Okay, this one I have created. Now, what you can do, you can give access, you may add tools, okay, you may add tools and so on. Okay, so say, let's say this add tools. Okay. So again, there are thousands of tools available. Call an agent, Gmail, okay, the way in which you program, okay, Google Drive, Zapier tables, and whatnot, right? Microsoft Excel, and so many things. Okay, so many things. So you may add, depending upon your requirement, you may add any particular tool, okay, and then you may run it. Okay, you may run it. Yes. Okay. Now, this is my agent preview. Okay, I can test it by simply clicking on this test agent. What it is doing right now, it is whatever is the functionality I have used a template. I have not written, even I have not modified the prompt. Okay, directly I am using the template. Okay, so whatever is there in that prompt, that action it will carry out. So when I get a new mail, look at the contents and determine if it is a question from a customer, if it is a customer's question, and so on. So what it is doing right now, it is accessing my Gmail account, whatever I have used. Okay, actually, as a matter of fact, I have used my official Gmail account. So it will go through all the mails. Okay, but hardly it will find any customer over there. Okay, because there will be. Let's see what happens. Okay, now it is working on it. Okay, it is working on it. So just hold on for some time. We are testing that agent wherein it is a support email agent. Okay, support email agent. So you may add up some knowledge source if required. Let's say, yeah, what has happened? It has analyzed. Now it is saying some no reply and all those things, right? And what has happened? Let's look at it. Okay, this is not a customer question, it's a promotional email. Okay, so it is not finding any customer related kind of thing, because that is my, as I said, it is my official mail, final reminder, whatever it is. Okay, so it has scanned all the mails, okay, as on date. And now you may improve it with Copilot, okay, or this is what I was referring to. I may add some knowledge source. So let's say I'm running HRDC. We do have some manual, okay, or some guiding principles. So if I add that PDF file as the knowledge source, what it will do, or let's say if I add my calendar, a calendar for the 25-26, okay. So this email responder will look at the participants. Let's say if they are asking for certain things, okay, it will go through that knowledge source, whatever PDF file I'll share as a knowledge source, okay, and it will respond to the queries of the participants and so on. So all these things can be done quite easily by building agents. Okay, so Zapier is one of the platform. Okay, Zapier is one of the platform wherein you have got lot of uh, there are thousands of, I should say, templates available for your day-to-day activity. Okay, so this is how you can build agentic AI. Okay, using, and that too, this hardly requires any time and effort, I believe. The only thing you need to have is you need to be clear what exactly you intend to do. Okay, and rest of the things you can leave it to the tool. Okay, it will do it automatically for you, right? So yes sir, no sir. Now I'm going through your responses. Okay, clearly audible. All right. So we have talked about a lot of things, right? From Notebook LM to Zapier. Okay. Now, intentionally, I'm keeping this 10 to 15 minutes time for the discussion. Okay. The very first thing I would like to uh, interact you with is rather we need to brainstorm on this is whether we really require whether we need to go through all these transformation whatever is happening around us. Okay, so whether this AI is good or bad, okay, that is the very first thing we need to look into. Okay, so what is your take on this? Okay, almost I am done with it. Let's say if you have a specific query with whatever I have covered, okay, you can fire it now. Okay, I'll be happy to answer. But the other way around, we will proceed with the discussion. Okay, so what do you feel? Whether this is needed, first of all, right? What is your take on this? Or let's say if you have any specific question with regard to whatever has been covered from 2 o'clock, okay, because I very well remember that we joined at dot two. Okay, so 2 p.m. onwards, whatever has been covered, okay, if you have any specific query, you can fire it now. चलिए, आप में से कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे? मेरे ख्याल से all of you are from Nagpur, so I'm comfortable with Hindi or Marathi as well. Okay, there's no issue. You are
हिंदी
all
सर,
from, yes sir.
हिंदी हिंदी।
हिंदी में हाँ बोलिए ना सर, क्या बोलना चाहेंगे? वाघमारे सर, क्या लगता है आपको? हमने बहुत सारी चीजें आज देखी। हमने देखा कि भाई ये एआई एक तरह से एक डिस्ट्रप्शन आ रहा है। तो आपको क्या लगता है कि हमने इसको इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए, या क्या लगता है आपको? व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस? आपको क्या लगता है वाघमारे सर? मेरे ख्याल से आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं।
सुन पा रहे सर,
बोलिए क्या लगता है आपको?
कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा।
कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा, क्या करना चाहिए? देखिए हर चीज के दो पहलू होते हैं, है ना? कुछ चीजें अच्छी होती हैं, कुछ चीजें देखिए देखिए जैसे आप अगर आप एक एग्जांपल लें, नाइफ है, नाइफ, राइट? तो आप इससे सब्जी भी काट सकते हैं, खाना बना के खा सकते हैं, या फिर कुछ और कर सकते हैं। Oh, it is very similar to that, है ना? So this is just like a weapon, right? The way in which you utilize it, okay, that is the only crucial aspect of it, है ना? तो देयर आर इश्यूज बहुत सारे हैं। इशू हैं कि भाई आपकी क्रिएटिविटी इनोवेशन में ये एक किसी ने सुबह में बात कही कि सर ये थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम है उस डायमेंशन में। तो आई डू एग्री। देयर आर कंट्रीज, ऐसे बहुत से डेवलप्ड नेशन है ना? यूरोप में कुछ देश हैं, ऐसा मैंने सुना है, जहाँ वेयर वेयर दे हैव बैंड द यूज ऑफ ऑल दीज एआई टूल। लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी है, और जैसे कि मैंने कहा अभी कि भाई आपके मेल है, अब सपोज मुझे हजारों मेल आती हैं, मैं एक सेंटर चला रहा हूँ, है ना? मेरे पास लोग नहीं है, तो डेफिनेटली मैं इस टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज करके कुछ इफिशिएंट मैनर में अपनी ड्यूटीज को निभा सकता हूँ। एटलीस्ट ये तो मानेंगे आप, है ना? तो इसी तरह से एज ए टीचर आप भले ही इस्तेमाल ना करें, लेकिन आपके स्टूडेंट्स तो इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं इन चीजों को, है ना? तो आपको कहीं ना कहीं विजिलेंट और अवेयर तो रहना होगा कि भाई क्या हो रहा है करके, ठीक है ना? तो अगर आप अवेयर रहेंगे, आपको पता होगा, तो ही आप रोक पाएंगे, है ना? तो मुझे लगता है कि भाई ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, इवन दो इट इज डिस्ट्रप्टिव इन नेचर, लेकिन किसी हद तक चाहते हुए ना चाहते हुए आप और मैं में इसका इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं, है ना। ये तो आप एग्री करेंगे। आपका मोबाइल देखिए, आपका, आप, हम बोलते हैं ब्रीच ऑफ प्राइवेसी, ब्रीच ऑफ सीक्रेसी, वी आर ऑल वल्नरेबल इन टर्म्स ऑफ ऑल दोज एस्पेक्ट। देने के पीछे भागते हैं तो फ्री के साथ में बहुत सारी प्राइस पे करते हैं, कभी हमको रियलाइज नहीं होता है कि भाई ये क्या हो रहा है करके। लेकिन आपकी लोकेशन, राइट, आपका पर्सनल डेटा, है ना, जब आप वो चेक बॉक्सेस क्लिक करते हो ना, तो बहुत सारे राइट्स आप दे देते हो इन लोगों को। तो ये तो हो रहा है आपके और मेरे साथ। अब दूसरा सोल्यूशन ये है कि आप फिर से एक नोकिया का पुराना हैंडसेट लीजिए और उस पे आ जाइए, बटन वाला, ठीक है। तो मुझे नहीं लगता आज आज की जनरेशन में अगर मैं किसी से कहूँ, मैं बोलूंगा भाई, वो बोलेगा सर मुझे एक वक्त खाना कम दो लेकिन मोबाइल तो चाहिए मुझे, ठीक है ना। तो अब इसके डेफिनेटली नुकसानात भी है, मैं ये नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि भाई सब अच्छा ही है करके, लेकिन आखिर में आप पर निर्भर करता है कि भाई आप उसका इस्तेमाल किस चीज के लिए कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना। तो फिर भी आपके कुछ व्यूज होंगे, मेरे ख्याल से बहुत सारे नोन फेसेस आर देयर, आई वुड लव टू इंटरेक्ट, और मुझे लगता है कि आप ये सारे सेशन एंजॉय कर रहे होंगे, ठीक है। आज तो हमने टेक्नोलॉजी पे बात की, लेकिन एक्चुअली ये जो एनईपी ओरिएंटेशन सेंसिटाइजेशन है, इसमें एक्चुअली 2-3 घंटे जो है स्पीकर को बोलना नहीं है। इसमें होना चाहिए आधे से 1 घंटे का डेलिब्रेशन और आधे घंटे का डिस्कशन होना चाहिए, है ना, जिसको हम ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग कहते हैं। अब वो मोड में हम कहाँ तक सफल हैं, मैं इसीलिए आपको थोड़ा सा 10-15 मिनट रखे हैं कि आप में से कुछ लोग कुछ कहना चाहेंगे तो आई विल बी डेफिनेटली हैप्पी। जो आज के हमने एस्पेक्ट देखे या 5 दिन से आपके जो भी सेशंस हो रहे हैं, तो इस पे आपको क्या लगता है कि पर्टिकुलरली आज का जो सेशन है, क्योंकि दूसरे एरिया में तो मैं नहीं बोल पाऊंगा बिकॉज मैंने वो सेशन डिलीवर नहीं किए हैं, लेकिन इसमें आपको क्या लगता है ये बताइए आज के सेशन में। मुझे खुशी इस बात की है कि अभी भी 67 लोग जुड़े हुए हैं। मैं और भी कुछ टूल आपको बताना चाहता था, लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से अभी 5 बजने पे आ रहे हैं, और ठीक है। तो क्या लगता है आपको सर, कैन यू टेल अस हाउ कंसेप्ट bottleneck differs from line? Great.
Hello.
Concept, yes ma'am, बोलिए।
Hello.
जी
I'm
बोलिए मैम।
audible, sir. I'm Dr.
यस यस,
Snehal Golai.
या प्लीज।
Yeah, I'm the head of the in charge of AIDS department. Today's session is very nice. You explain about each and every tool, but as per my opinion, from the I'm PhD from the computer science and engineering. Uh, कुछ हर टेक्निक्स के या हर टेक्नोलॉजी के प्रोज एंड कॉन्स आर देयर।
ओके।
तो एज पर माय नॉलेज, ठीक है, टूल्स तो बनते हैं बट उसके पीछे क्या कोडिंग होना चाहिए, ये चीजें हर एक कंप्यूटर या सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर को पता होना चाहिए, ये मुझे लगता है। और ये तो अपने ऊपर ही है कि
बिल्कुल
उसका
बिल्कुल
यूज कैसे करना।
सही।
यू आर सेइंग दैट व्हेनेवर वी आर डूइंग आवर पीएचडी, हमको
यस।
100 पेपर पढ़ने पड़ते थे, उसमें से एक पेपर निकलता था। अभी तो
मैडम,
कैसे
आपको थोड़ा सा 1 मिनट के लिए रोकूंगा मैं। आपको पढ़ने के लिए एटलीस्ट पेपर भी तो मिल जाते थे, हमको पढ़ने के लिए दूसरे इंस्टीट्यूट जाना पड़ता था, आईआईटीज जाना पड़ता था। हम उस दौर के लोग हैं, समझ रहे हैं आप। एटलीस्ट आपको ऑनलाइन पेपर भी तो मिलते थे। हमारे वक्त में हमको, मुझे अच्छी तरह से याद है, जब मैंने मेरा मास्टर्स डिसर्टेशन किया तो मुझे 2-3 इंस्टीट्यूट जाना पड़ा पेपर कलेक्ट करने के लिए, ठीक है। बोलिए बोलिए जी।
लेकिन अभी कैसे बच्चों का थोड़ा बहुत तो भी ये इंटरेस्ट जा रहा है स्टूडेंट्स का, वो क्या
सही
करेंगे,
है।
एब्स्ट्रैक्ट पढ़ेंगे, व्हाट आर द लिमिटेशंस आर देयर इन दैट पेपर, दे आर डायरेक्टली गिवन बाय
यस
यूजिंग द टूल्स। हम
यस
लोगों को
यस।
पूरा पेपर छानना पड़ता था
जी
कि
जी
उसमें क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा
जी
है। 10 बार
जी,
एक पेपर पढ़ेंगे तो लास्ट में हमको कंक्लूजन समझ में आता था।
समझ रहा हूँ समझ रहा हूँ समझ रहा हूँ मैडम। तो ये कहीं ना कहीं थ्रेट तो है, हमारी जो क्रिएटिविटी है, जो इनोवेशन है, उसके ऊपर एक थ्रेट है। तो
हम्म।
ये, लेकिन आपको आपकी खुद की बाउंड्रीज खुद ही सेट करनी है मैडम, आपको, है ना,
या सर, या
है ना,
आई
मतलब
एम
यू हैव
एग्री
टू
विथ
सेट योर
यू।
ओन बाउंड्रीज। यस,
या
हाँ।
या
तो
we are
जैसे
we
मैंने
are
कहा,
taking all the technologies in the positive way, okay?
यस यस
Yeah,
यस। बट
thank
लेकिन क्या हो रहा है, अब अगर आप बच्चा, आपने कुछ स्टूडेंट को असाइनमेंट दिया, अब वो
you.
यूज कर रहा है, आपको कहाँ पता चल रहा है? वो तो आके क्लेम कर रहा है कि सर मैंने मैडम ये आपने बोले थे, मैंने 10 पेपर पढ़े, ये मेरी एनालिसिस है, ये मेरी फाइंडिंग्स है। तो अब वहां पे
They are
आप
directly
मुश्किल
using
में।
the tools and submit the assignments, na?
यस एग्जैक्टली।
हाँ.
सो ये थोड़ा बहुत डेंजरस है, लेकिन इसे कहीं ना कहीं रोकने की भी जरूरत है। तो इसीलिए कहा मैंने कि भाई इसके बारे में कुछ गाइडलाइंस हो सकता है कि इन ड्यू कोर्स ऑफ टाइम आएगी गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से।
Yeah,
तो
yeah.
इसे कहीं ना कहीं रोकना तो पड़ेगा, हमें हमें और आपको रोकना पड़ेगा।
Yeah, sir.
यस मैम। ठीक
Thank
है,
you, sir.
थैंक यू। और कोई कुछ कहना चाहेगा? चलिए, ठीक है। सो आई थैंक यू ऑल फॉर patience hearing. Okay,
So one
and I
question in the, I think, sir, one question in the chat box.
okay.
Bottleneck difference from the line.
Acha. Yes, I have read out that question. Okay. Uh, Lime and bottlenecks are a little bit different, madam, up to some extent. Lime is, as I have told you, it is a explainable model. Okay. But bottlenecks are little bit different in a sense, wherein actually what is happening is, as a matter of fact, whatever solutions we are arriving at nowadays, okay, most of the people, they are putting this additional box of either the lime or maybe one more model I think I have talked about, wherein we can go ahead with you can say certain justification that how you are arriving at a particular solutions, right? So this is a hot cake nowadays, right, which is becoming very popular, and which is trying to address one of the, you can say, the limitation of the AI technology, what they call it as the black box technology, right? So this is my take on this, ma'am. I hope I have answered your query. Okay. Thank you is coming up. All right.
Yes, anyone else?
Okay.
Sir, I think we should conclude. If you
Yes,
could.
yes, please.
So on behalf of all the organizers and the participants, I extend my sincere thanks to Professor Atik sir for such a wonderful and the hands-on session towards this adoption and the integration of AI-enabled technologies in our education as well as the research purpose. Definitely, sir, the task is challenging and its ethical uses are more important, and definitely the government will come up with certain guidelines because the AICT has integrated these issues in their recent in their recent notifications with regards to PhD particularly. And in certain how cases, the universities or the institutions are also taking some important steps towards the integration and the ethical use of this AI. But certain guidelines or the regulatory forms are still not there. So definitely the concern that is issuing using of this integration and the using of this AI technology in education and research are very deeply important. So with this, I once again extend my sincere thanks to you for your valuable insights and hands-on session, particularly to the different tools. And with the kind consent of Professor Atik sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you, and thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you.
Participants, tomorrow there will be a Sunday and there will be a no sessions. We will resume the sessions from Monday and on our usual time. As well as one more important thing, there will be an assessment quiz that we have already posted in our WhatsApp group. So we will get the link of that assessment quiz within couple of time in our WhatsApp group as well as through email. Okay, so kindly appear for that MCQ test accordingly. Thank you, everyone, and we'll meet Monday.